Hey everyone, welcome to another YouTube painting process video. This time around I'll be showing you the process for Holliday from Deadlock, and as usual I'll be going over a topic of discussion when it comes to art. I'll be discussing the idea that ambition is the death of good art. Now, if you look at the title, you may think that it's something else, and it might be a little bit rage baity, but I'm not talking about setting goals for yourself and that sort of thing. It's more of a beginner trap that I see a lot of people do. It's the idea that when you start learning more and more art theory, you can become a little bit too ambitious for your artwork, and you place whatever you learned, everything you learn, just to prove to yourself that you can do it. So what do I mean by this? Well, I'll give my own anecdotes. If you look at my work nowadays and compare it to maybe 15 years ago, whenever I started posting online, you'll notice very quickly that I was actually putting more elaborate things in the past than nowadays. In fact, a lot of times when I draw this sort of thing, I am not going to put a lot of elements into it. The reasoning is actually pretty simple. As you get better in art, you will understand what is necessary and what isn't, and what you are strong at and what you are weak at. There is a very heavy temptation when you learn something new that you want to try it out immediately in the next piece that you draw, and that's perfectly fine. It'll probably help you because it'll give you a chance to test things out and really practice what is new, and that's always going to be helpful in conditioning and training. And especially if you're in an art school environment, obviously your instructors probably want you to try new concepts out for your assignments, and that's by design. You will probably fall into the temptation of adding too many things just because of this. In fact, beyond just the technical side of things, the easiest way to tell the difference between a professional work and an amateur's work is just how many unnecessary elements there are in the amateur's work. You'll notice very quickly that many professional artists are going to draw very similar subject matter between pieces. This is not an indication that they're incapable of drawing certain other subject matter. If you tell a character designer to draw an environment, I'm sure they're still going to draw something above a certain level. However, they simply understand what they're specialists in and what they're not good in. So they're not going to be too ambitious when it comes to their artwork. They have nothing to prove to anybody else, whereas the beginners are likely to want to try adding all of these things just to prove that they're capable of doing it. And that's perfectly normal. That comes from a natural progression of skill. And every single professional artist that you idolize would have probably drawn every subject matter that you can possibly think of as they were training. But it takes a master to begin to understand what to omit. And I've mentioned this in another video. What you omit is arguably more important than what you choose to include in your artwork when it comes to your style. Yes, the best artists will be capable of drawing whatever subject matter that you ask them of, but they will also understand what they are elite in and what they are not. Again, they're not going to overpush things. They're not overly ambitious. They know that they're not going to be great at everything, and they know what people are looking for. If we want to be even more specific than just saying environments and characters, every artist will even specialize in very specific niches of those subject matters. So you may find somebody who is a mega specialist in Victorian architecture. You may find that there is somebody who is extremely good at drawing canines and any creatures based off of canines. Yes, it may seem crazy, but there are actually jobs for people who are extreme specialists at what they do. The best way to put it is that if you go on YouTube and just search for, let's say, Japanese food, you're going to find that there are 80-year-olds who literally just cook udon noodles or whatever specialist food item for decades at a time. They become masters at that one specific thing. Nobody would go to their restaurants, an udon master restaurant, to purchase and ask for sushi. If you walk into the restaurant, you know exactly what they want you to eat, and you're not going to ask for anything else. That is the mark of a master. And unfortunately, and fortunately for us, our time on this earth is very limited. So chances are you're just not going to be a master in every single thing that you will ever learn to draw. You're going to find that one thing that you're going to really like, and you probably will just master that thing and avoid everything else altogether. You have nothing to prove at that point. Why do you need to be so ambitious and try to add all of these nooks and crannies to prove that you can do it? Who is going to ask for that when you are this masterful in that one thing late in your career? Because I understand how beginners think, since I've gone through that journey. It does seem very tempting to want to patch up all your weaknesses and such. And it might seem bad that you're incapable of just drawing a subject that you feel you're really weak in. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. Working on your weaknesses is a very good thing. It may train you and teach you things that will get you out of your comfort zone. That being said, you have to accept that it's not likely you'll ever be the master of everything. So don't be too ambitious. It's going to make worse art overall, and at best you're just going to be a jack of all trades rather than being a master of that one thing that you truly enjoy when it comes to art. Anyways, thank you for watching. This is the final piece for Holliday from Deadlock. As usual, like this video, subscribe to my channel, follow my socials in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.